Stop using sheet masks. Stop, cease, desist, no more. Stop it. Excuse this chaos because this is going to be a very ranty video. I don't have any script set up whatsoever for this because this isn't an original idea. People have done this video before. People have done this blog post before. People have done this podcast before, but people still are not listening. So I figured the more voices, the more opinions, the more content we have about this, hopefully we can start trending this really stupid habit and stupid trend into something that no longer exists in the future. Hi, in case you didn't know me, I'm Griffin. I am a complete nobody in the skincare world who just really likes learning and educating myself and researching, and I also tend to be somebody who cares a lot about the environment. Hello. Welcome. We live on this one earth together, and it's important to keep it healthy. Unfortunately, this very popular trend that's been happening the last few years in sheet masks is not good for that whatsoever. And that really is the primary reason why I suggest people not use these anymore. This is beyond the whole idea that sheet masks are just glorified serums. This is beyond the idea that they're just not necessary whatsoever in a skincare routine, but they actively harm the earth. So if it was something that you didn't need, but like buying it really wouldn't have that big of a difference on the ecological impact, or just impact something else at a larger scale, I'd be like, I think you're stupid, but fine, do what makes you happy. But this is hurting more than just you. This is more than just you, Becky, being your own self-care. I love doing my sheet mask with my friends at night. No, this is more than that, and this is why it needs to stop. Again, as I said, there are so many sources out there that say why this is a thing, from actual scientists and conservationists, that I highly suggest you do some research into if you want to have a better story. But long story short, with sheet masks, you are presented a single-use product in that you rip it open and that is your product. You don't get any more after that, which most of them are wrapped in plastic, which is something that can only be recycled a certain amount of times, and especially this type of plastic, which is a much softer, thinner plastic. A lot of places won't even take that in for recycling in the first place and put it straight to a landfill anyway if you put that in your recycling bin. But also, most material of these sheet masks isn't actually paper or cotton like you think it is. Most of it is a synthetic plastic-based substance that will not biodegrade in the same way a cotton or a paper type of mask would. That is not to say that something that is made out of paper or cotton should be something that you should be willing to throw away all willy-nilly. There's also just a big kind of movement towards trying to encourage people to stop using things like cotton rounds and as many tissues, because even though they will break down faster than plastic, the whole idea of biodegradability just means it will degrade faster than other things. It still will exist. It still takes time for things to break down. And I'm not trying to make you go on a whole zero waste movement. If I were, you wouldn't be seeing all this plastic stuff behind me. I get it. It's hard to make that big shift. But these are something that you can easily cut from your lifestyle that I promise you are not going to take away from your skincare and your skin health whatsoever. To be clear, what I am not telling you to do is to throw away all of your sheet masks immediately. That's contributing to the damn problem, bitch, where if you have something and then you throw it away, that is still stuff you are throwing away. I still have these 3 sheet masks that are behind me. These are literally the only sheet masks that I have in my house whatsoever, because the only time I ever get sheet masks are when I order Korean products from Asia, from something like Yes Style or Jolse. They always send you free sheet masks. It's such a big part of the culture over there, who I would love to be preaching to as well, but unfortunately that is not where I live. That is not the audience that I'm able to attract. But They send it to me without me even asking, without me even saying, please don't send it. They just give it to you because that is the cultural expectation. What I want you to stop doing is to stop buying the big ass boxes of sheet masks that you're keeping in your bathroom for a rainy day when you want to have a slumber party with the girlfriends that you're not actually going to end up using necessarily. If you have them, what I want you to do is I want you to use them up as you would normally, but don't buy them again. Say, I can buy something else with that to help my skincare or to help my self-care in another way. And there are a lot of great options for that. What's important to remember is that a sheet mask isn't a special skincare product that you can only get in a sheet mask area. A very common thing people like to say is that sheet masks are just glorified serums that are put into kind of just this masky, clothy thing that you put on your face and use it once. Maybe there's a little bit extra that you can store for later, but it's just a glorified serum. I would argue that it's even less than a glorified serum. Like, serums I consider to be like, this is super highly concentrated, this is gonna do a really good amount, it comes in a smaller amount for a little bit more, but because you're paying for more expensive ingredients, this most of the time is not an expensive ingredient. Like, think about it. You're not paying very much for these. They're making a huge margin off of it, of course, because if you spend $5 on a single-use product, you are spending a lot more than if you spent $15 on a product that you're going to be able to use over 3 months. But there's not a lot of quality in these. These are very much just kind of copy-paste baseline serums with something like glycerin, propylene glycol, and then maybe just throw in a couple of buzzwords. Like you have the honey, you have the bamboo, you have the snail. Just whatever is on there to make you go, oh wow, maybe this is going to fix my skin issues. It won't. It's just a glorified toner. Like, you think about a serum versus a toner usually is not going to have as high concentrations of the beneficial ingredients. Yeah, exactly. Which is why these masks here are no different than this, than this, than this. But how many uses of these toners am I going to be able to get out of how much I pay for them? So much more. And what can I do with these toners? Do I have to put them on and wait for a little bit? No, I can incorporate them into my routine in any way that I want. Sheet masks do not need to exist. So cool, but what if I really love the feeling of putting on that mask? What if I really need to do that? There's nothing stopping you from taking this toner. I like these ones because they're thicker. I always say that in all my videos. I love thick toners. You can take your own damn cotton reusable cloth and soak it in this shit and have your own mask and still have this left over. This is not going to use an entire bottle's worth for one mask. You're maybe going to use this much for one mask, so you're going to get a lot more. You can get something like this or one of these for $15. And if you live in Asia, even less, because you don't have to pay for the shipping fees and just it being more expensive to get it across the country in the first place. You can make these so much more economically. Personally, I don't even like using them that much because you put them on in the serum step. You're not supposed to wash off the contents of the mask after you're done with it, which a lot of people do. But that means going in the middle of your skincare routine, after you cleanse, after you tone, usually after you essence, they recommend this goes in the serum step, then you put it on and then you wait 20 minutes and then you go back with more serums, moisturizers, oils, etc. I don't want to wait 20 minutes in the middle of my skincare routine to put on a sheet mask. So what I usually do is I just do it in the middle of the day where I already have layers of sunscreen on my face that probably are blocking some of it, and I'm not getting the most effectiveness. This is just kind of this is gonna work out well for me because it's cooling on my face and I feel like I'm doing something for me. When realistically, it's not. It's not doing that much. It's not being used in the proper way. I bet you most people do not use sheet masks the way they are intended to be used because they're more of just kind of in the moment, therapeutic, almost status symbol, to be completely honest, than they are an effective skincare treatment. And that's also to say that a lot of these sheet masks are also not that great for you. A lot of them contain fragrance and other irritating compounds that are going to bother most people's skin, but people don't look at ingredients list on sheet masks. What they do is they look what animal is on top of it, which means which ingredient do I want, or even worse, which one looks cute, and I'm gonna put that on my face. And oftentimes I'll see people have a lot of irritation, some redness, maybe some breakouts, and they say, oh, I used a sheet mask and this happened to me. I thought it was going to help. But they're introducing compounds that they're not used to. They're not thinking about when they're putting it on their skin, and that's not a good sign. Sheet masks are also really weird in that they're the only product that is not just kind of mechanically done by a factory, which sounds bad, but like, think about it. Do you want people hand pouring all the toner inside your bottle? Do you want people pouring all the stuff directly in there? No, you want a machine doing it, because you know the machine's going to be very well kept, very accurate, very well sanitized all the time, but you have people hand folding all of these masks in Korea, which is the only product that's actively done consistently. And most of these people are probably going to be very, very safe, wearing gloves, washing their hands often, wearing hairnets, wearing face masks. But why? Why do we need that specific procedure to be done for this one product that isn't necessary? Why do we need that fancy little fold to get it into the single-use plastic pouch with so much excess liquid going on there? Why do we need that? Why does that need to be a thing? I don't get it. Somebody enlighten me. If you're the type of person who, after all this, after all these alternatives that I'm giving you, just go, no, I gotta have it. I'm not gonna make my own. I gotta have exactly what I want. There are companies that are making more environmentally friendly sheet masks. There are companies that make sheet masks out of bamboo fiber, which is completely biodegradable and is a very sustainable plant because it grows at the speed of grass. So you can actually grow it very, very quickly in very normal conditions. You don't really have to be super picky about it. It's essentially a weed, and it will be packaged in either some more bamboo fiber or in some type of wood-based pulp, kind of like a cardboardy cardstock type of thing. So the entire thing will be biodegradable and overall a lot more sustainable. It's going to be more expensive, but if you want something affordable, hello. So you have options that involve you not having to go over to your local Asian market and buying a box of all these different sheet masks for $10. I know it's fun. I know you're looking for good deals. I get it. Times are rough. Money is not really easy to come by, and sometimes you want to make sure that you're treating yourself, you're taking care of yourself so that you don't get too stressed out, too anxious. But there are better ways to do that in ways that aren't going to hurt the earth as well. We're doing so well right now as a community because we're not driving anymore, we're not doing all these things, but that doesn't give you a free pass to continue using things that are doing bad. We need to do a lot of work to get to a place where the earth is going to be in a sustainable way. And I implore you, if you're gonna do one thing, just stop buying something. Just stop it. I'm not telling you to change your lifestyle. I'm telling you not to buy something. So please, stop buying sheet masks. I'm Griffin. Like this video if you agree with me. Subscribe to me if you want to hear more of my rants or actual videos. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.